Hello everyone. I know it has been a while since the last video, but I'm back and I'm back with a very interesting topic. The idea came from actually a personal need. And what I was thinking was I actually wanted to update my personal website for a long time. So right now, if you go to sally.dev, you will see it redirect to the dev.to or like somewhere else. But I actually wanted to have a website that I can show my talks and my blog posts, and I want to make them agent and SEO friendly as well. But I didn't have the time. So what I thought was, you know what, I can't have the full day to focus on this. So let me see what I can do in one iteration. A few days ago, what I did was I actually dropped off my son to school and I went to a cafe nearby. And I sat down and started to plan on how I can actually have a new website. And if you're curious about how I built my website and brought all of my articles to it in an hour, let's get started. First of all, I need a design. For the design, I wanted to go with a minimalistic black and white design, and I wanted to keep everything in the light mode first. So I went to Gemini and I said, create a minimalistic black and white personal website design. It will be text heavy because I will be blogging mostly. So I mentioned what I need to it. The reason that I use Gemini is because I have access to the image generation. You can use anything that you want. For me, the most important part was what I want to have. For example, one of the important parts was having a map on the left side so I can share which city I am at right now with the people in case they are curious or in case they check my website out. And blog post will have a header image, so I always generate an image for my blog post as well. And I also want to have upcoming conferences and last 3 conferences as well, so we can see where did I meet the people with or like where am I going next. Of course, there will be social side and there will be about, blog and everything is a sub page as well. With everything here, this is the first design that it created to me. And I kind of liked how it looks like. And I didn't go further than this. I actually got this design and said, okay, I'm just going to download this and I will use it in my project. So the next part was actually writing the specifications or specs of the project. The spec is how you define and how you want to build your project. There are some rules to it. There's some best practices to it to follow along, and it helps you to define what you have in your mind in a more structured way. There are some tools that can help you out, like Kiro spec-driven development side or the spec kit, whatever you can use. But from my point of view, once you have the spec down and put it to a planning mode in an AI coding assistant, it will be quite helpful. For example, in here, I have decided that the personal website building. The first sentence is explaining what is the purpose, very briefly. For me, the most important part is to define what is the purpose. The purpose of this document is to build a text-heavy website that will go live. And here are my rules. You must use Astro to build this website. And here's something interesting. When you talk with AI, you must always use different kind of framing. And one of them is you need to be specific. You shouldn't say, please, can you do this? Because when you have a soft language, AI will have tendency to skip what you have in your mind and carry on with whatever it thinks the best idea. So that is why having strong language, having capital letters, or even bold helps you out a lot. In here we have, you must use Astro to build this website. Like I said earlier on, I want to build with Astro because with text-heavy websites, Astro is great. It has a perfect markdown support for me to write my stuff easily. And I want to use TypeScript as a language as well with Astro. And I want to make sure we are taking advantage of Astro's markdown support as well. I don't want to have tests for it. I don't want to waste my time for it because, as you know, I only had 1 hour to build this. And I want to make sure I can commit and go through my iterations later on. I will be always in the driver's seat. Even though it's for an hour AI coding, I will be in charge of whatever that is changing because at the end of the day, we are software engineers and whatever we build is our responsibility. Once we have the rules, the next step is defining the goals and no goals. For me, the deployment is out of the picture. I will take care of it later on. For me, the most important part is I want to have a nice responsive design. I want this to be already SEO and AI optimized. I want to make sure we have the agent readiness. For example, we have the discoverability in place. We have the content accessibility and everything that we might be needing that agents are looking for. Also, I want to make sure my UI can handle everything a Markdown supports and also a blog post can support as well. One of the important parts is actually the YouTube embedding. Some websites, maybe you see it, maybe you not, they don't support it because it is not directly part of the Markdown embedding platforms or Markdown embedding approach that they have. So I want to make sure it is working fine, and I want to make sure the website is fully functional locally. Once I define this, you might see that it's not perfect English, which is fine. I'm not a native speaker, but I want to make sure that everything is in the right place. So I copied this, just threw it to any AI coding assistant or any AI agent that you have. It can be Claude, it can be Gemini, ChatGPT. We have Amazon Quick, so I use Amazon Quick to fix my grammar mistakes. Once everything is done, next step is to actually feed this information to the AI coding assistant and hoping to see how it will plan out and implement everything. Once everything is in place, the Codex will open up and we will be able to actually start the planning mode. The planning mode will allow us to create everything in the AI's more structured way. Once we have that, we will define and give our spec MD inside it, and it will ask us some questions, such as, what do you want? Do you want some editable placeholders? Do you want a more like static practical set? What kind of things that you need? As you answer more, you will feel that you're in the driver's seat, so you can even enter some information directly by writing your questions, and it will actually give you more answers later on as well. And if you don't know an answer, you can also click on this tiny information thing, and it will show you what that means directly. So you can keep in mind what you will have and what you will not have as well. Once you select everything, it will start the latest trade-off and latest questions, and it will bring everything. The planning phase, once it is done, the planning phase will bring you a Markdown file with the implementation details, the summary. It will actually very much look like the spec.md file that we have, but you will see that it will have more technical information from your input as well. So whatever you need, it will come from either a graph information online, it will get your data from wherever you need, and it actually brings all the information about making your website agentic friendly as into the system as well. So once everything looks good to you, you can just click on implement the plan and everything will be good. Once the implementation part starts, it will go through the project and it will start implementing things. This doesn't mean that you need to just let things go and go back. As I said, you have 1 hour, but actually there's something wrong here. The problem was, if you don't take a close look, it will think of building the best way for itself. But for us, it doesn't make sense here. To, for example, to check the project and how it looks like, you will refresh your page simply, and you will see even the icons has changed. Now we have the blue sky icon, for example, and we have the blog post and everything in its place, but the information is filled with what I have. The city is correct, the email is gone because I didn't give my email and everything. So what's next now? For the next in the list, now we need to bring in my blog posts that is scattered around. I have one in the Medium and one in dev.to and other places as well. But I want to make sure I will just bring those two because I know if I have those two, I have more than enough. So first, I start by giving my dev.to address. The dev.to address has the latest blog posts that I have written. Generally, they're under database publication, which is great. And luckily, dev.to is easy to get. So what my AI agent does is go into this address, creates a file that goes into this address, checks this information, makes a list, even write a script. And from that script, allows me to migrate everything that I have into my blog post as well. It crawls, it runs everything, and if I check out my blogs, now I could see the images of my blog post. If I go to the detail, I could see also the information on everything that I have written as well. The one that you will see is it will have the code highlights as well as the videos and everything as well. Everything is great from the dev.to perspective, right? Everything at least looks good, and right now I'm in the detail. In the detail page, you can see the header image, everything like code pages, and the video embedding as well. I mentioned earlier on how important it was to me because I think the video embedding is something that we forget sometimes. Anyway, I like what I saw, so I said, okay, let's go and check the same from the Medium. And for the Medium, it actually writes another importer as well. It checks out whatever I need, brings that information, checks if there's a duplicate and ignores the next one, and updates everything. So I asked what's left to do because I actually implemented everything. Now we have a tiny fix on the mobile side, and now we have another thing to keep in mind, which is the CSS patch for the map, so it doesn't have an overflow when the screen is too big or too small. With everything in place, now you can see that everything is deployed, everything is there, the fixes are in place. You can see that I have the blog post and everything on the right place. And if I have the connections right now, sadly they are still on the Medium side, but I need to fix it. With this in place, you might be asking, what's next? And first of all, you need to appreciate what you've done, because everything that you're seeing is done in under an hour. We have just used GPT 5.6 Sol, we have used VS Code, and we have written a spec and generated an image. So we took an idea and turned it into a product very fast by a file and an image. So first of all, you need to appreciate what you've done. The second part is every information, every file, everything that you've seen for this blog post is available on the open source on my GitHub account. So you can check that out, and you can use any hosting servers to host that website. And if you're asking what am I going to use, of course I will show you how you can use AWS and how you can use your own domain to host your website as well. But for this one, you need to be staying tuned, follow along, like and subscribe to this video if you like it, drop a comment if you have any questions. And until next time, check out everything that we have created and let me know what you think. Have a nice day. Bye, folks.